fight the power like BITCHUTE.
What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace, the Dark Chameleon.
Peace of the
Listen, check it, yo. It was a cold April morning under the constellation Aries. The moon was 85% under the luminaries. From the celestial waters to the womb my soul was carried. Then my mother gave birth to a warrior and visionary. But when I speak this truth, I feel like nobody hears me. Every once in a while, I give sight to someone blind, floating on the globe in the heliocentric lie. Dilate your pupils the more you open your eyes. The truth is sitting in plain sight like a disguise. Until my mother's death is revenge, I won't be satisfied. It haunts me when I think about the phone call when she died. A river worth of tears shed from my eyes. So I looked up at the sky and I asked God why. It's been 21 years, I'm still waiting for a reply. Since birth I've been at war, the attack our undeveloped minds. Indoctrination camps making us dumb, deaf and blind. I'm always thinking solutions, we are running out of time. The dirty witchcraft is weak, I see through all the lies. I clearly analyze all the symbols and the signs. When I connect dots, the truth starts to align. The people are the power, you can never eclipse my shine. I say the truth hurts, but the truth will set you free. They say hell burns and there's a one-way ticket for me. You create your heaven or hell whether or not you believe. I'm God and Satan, I have to balance out my chi. One day these seeds I plant will bloom so you can be all you can be. Never give up and always hold your head high, cause you are God, there's no need to look to the sky. Yo, 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 yo. I want to live forever, like angels in the sky. Or I want to live forever, like a McDonald's French fry. Huh. I don't know if any bots came in here. I'm pretty sure they might have. People put bots in the chat. That's so fucking ridiculous to me. It's like when you're trying to call a place and all you get is robots. I hate that too, man. It's fucking annoying. I love this. That lightning, man. Yeah, just like a slave. They record and repeat. That's all the system teaches you to do is regurgitate. You're almost like a fucking, I don't know. I think every day I'm gonna speak some poetry. I said I'll snatch the pitchfork from the devil, snatch the crown from the ruling kings, steal the light from Lucifer, and clip the angel's wings. There's nothing nice about war. What the fuck do you think? It's said two wrongs don't make a right, but sometimes to make it right, you have to do wrong. Give flowers to loved ones. Don't wait until they're gone. You get one shot and you can't respawn. I'm not going to finish that because it's kind of poopies. thought I was going to use this, but I focus on memories lodged in the back of my mind. Feels so real as if I traveled back in time. I could even feel the pain as when I said goodbye, and I would be lying if I said warriors don't cry. Sometimes I feel drained and deserted, as a desert is dry, caught weathering the storm. The light is programmed through the lenses we call eyes. I think about my friends when I gaze into the sky, knowing one day someone will be in the place as I when I die. I used to numb the anxiety by using drugs and drinking. Now I maintain balance by changing the way I'm thinking. It was time to elevate. Old ways met extinction. I'm not making a promise. My ego can be resurrected. My inner self pokes at me. It doesn't like to be neglected. My higher self was there for me while everyone else was rejecting. When I find my inner peace, outer negative energies, I won't be affected. A warrior's greatest weapon is using one's brain. Why do we have to kill? Why can't we meet halfway to live and see another day? Stop praying to the thin air. I wonder why they call them crayfish. I almost rhymed with that. Cray. What's a cray? Anyone know what a cray is? I'm gonna have to look that up. Computers should be called the ultimate slave. Somebody told me that Chris was making fun of my live streams. Chris, what were you doing? I don't care. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Whether it's good or bad, it's still advertisement. Going in circles like a circle jerk. Your mind. Alright. Considering no one's coming up yet, I'm not going to sit here and ramble on. We'll have a moment of silence. A moment of silento. A lot of times I feel burning in my heart until I release gas and there I fart. There goes all that constipation. No more contemplation when you're in the poopy station. Who's gonna watch the Mike Tyson versus that cheese ball, man? I can't stand that cheese ball, man. Jake Paul. Because he thinks he could box, don't get me wrong, but he thinks he's hot shit because he knocks out, which he probably paid him off. But he fights fighters that would have whooped his ass in their prime. But he'll fight washed up rappers, knock him out, and think he's fucking Mr. Hot Shit. Mike Tyson better not get knocked out. I'm not saying Tyson can't get knocked out, because he can. Canada by cargo train. We're gonna check out some Stobe the Schmobo for a minute. I just want to see the footage. Yo, what's going on over here? Where's my fucking thing? Yo, I'm gonna break this fucking thing, I swear. Anyway, shit. So what's good with everybody today? Peace Native, Fools and Tools, and Faceplant. When meatballs speak crap, that's what I hear is mouth farts. And then tell them, hey, you need some teepee for your mouth. It's spewing crap like the runs. That's why they say, that was a shitty conversation. Mic check on 1 2 1 2. Oh. If anyone wants to come up, just hit the link. And until then, we're gonna watch Stobe the Hobo. This man travels all over the country. He passed away though, like, damn, it's been 7 years already. He passed away. I mean, his videos are awesome. He travels like a hobo. Even though he owns a house and all that, he just travels the country like a free man. When this video is said and done, I'll put the link in the description if people want to go to his channel and check out his stuff.
Howdy, my name's Jim Stubby. Myself and amateur camera crew intend to keep you entertained for the following 90 minutes with our travel guide adventure, Canada via cargo travel. First, just a brief introduction about myself. I'm 29 years old. I have a general fascination with powerful steel machines. Enjoy cold beer, and for whatever reason, still I'm unable to properly function in today's society. You know, these days, the topic of traveling via cargo train is one that's often romanticized. From the songs of Woody Guthrie the novels of Jack Kerouac. But the reality is that this activity is quite a bit less glamorous. The activity of traversing the Canadian landscape via cargo train is one that does face numerous perturbances and annoyances, from bloodthirsty grizzly bears to ill-tempered Mounties and verminous mosquitoes. And while we're on the topic of dangers, I'd like to now introduce an integral member of the film crew, a man who's going to help us avoid some of the worst consequences. The man behind the camera. Cameraman is a guy with just enough criminal experience to know how to get us out of a tight spot, but not enough to prevent us from crossing the border legally into Canada. In addition to handling a lot of the filming, he'll also be taking care of other assorted odds and ends, such as occasional narration. Naturally, a project of this magnitude requires extensive preparation. In addition to the obvious food, water, and survival gear, additional accoutrements will be brought to augment the enjoyability of the trip. Proper hydration is a must. You've got to make sure you've got enough liquids for at least several days. Additionally, I don't know about you,
Mickey's. Who's ever had Mickey? That must be a Canadian thing. Don't worry about that, native. I don't think he's calling you a bot. Maybe, native. Maybe.
but I start to feel a little depressed if I don't have a sip out of one of these guys every couple hours.
As the camera custodian and conflict resolver of this expedition, I require a look that demands respect.
Soon we were packed up and heading to the Portland Amtrak station, where we would take a legal 6-hour ride to Vancouver. Regrettably, not as much gear fit in our medium-sized packs as we initially had hoped. So this is Vancouver, BC, at the end of August. Even though it's basically the driest part of the year, we're still drenched, and have been so since we got here. I'd just like to point out one of the benefits of traveling, with a budget from a film studio and all that stuff is the ability to pay for hotel rooms. But as you can see, pretty much we're living out of here, and in this rain, I'll be honest, it's fairly miserable. Considering the possibility of detainment as foreign criminals, the encountering of malicious characters on the freight trains, and the general unknown nature of the next 2 weeks, we were both admittedly stressed about beginning the trip. This, combined with the rotten weather, created a palpable gloom over this northwest dreary megalopolis. As far as rail transport goes, this is the downtown Via Rail station. In addition, stack trains are being built along these tracks. Basically, this yard is completely enclosed with barbed wire and would require a Rambo style guy to get in there and get a free ride at least. So Canada has two separate railroads which take two separate routes from the east to the west. The Canadian National and the Canadian Pacific. Beginning in Vancouver, these two railroads essentially parallel each other all the way to Toronto and Montreal. The specific landscapes and cities that each railroad passes through generally do remain distinct from each other, with the CN taking a northerly route and the CP never straying far from the US border. An earlier reconnaissance mission to Vancouver convinced us to at least commence the trip on Canadian Pacific, as their main rail yard in the far out suburb of Port Coquitlam seemed more manageable to catch out of. So this is where the trip's going to start from, the Canadian Pacific Cocoa Yard. As you can see, there's a lot of different tracks with a lot of trains. Fortunately, this area, anything going this direction, which is south, is going to be pulling all towards east, like Kamloops and Calgary, basically. So basically, just need to wait down at that end for something to go slow. It looks like it's going a reasonable distance and get on. So now that we've arrived here, it's time to go get provisions. So one of the big gigs we've already found in Canada for traveling on a budget is definitely going to be the prices of beer. I mean, taking a look here at a tall can of Colt 45. Yeah, go ahead. Taking a look at a tall can of Colt 45 here. $3.75 is obscene. So basically, it's looking like a little more of our budget is going to be expended at the beginning of the trip than I thought. This is $13 for this. What's going on? We are hunkered down in the bushes on the side of the tracks. It's kind of hard to see due to the extreme thick vegetation, but the train tracks are up there. I think if we had like a hot dog stand in a closer beer store where it's cheap, it would be nice. We're jumping in this water. The city of Kamloops is the first stop on the cargo train heading east out of Vancouver. In the summer, it's one of the hottest cities in BC. It's about 90 degrees right now. And a variety of recreational opportunities exist. From swimming in the refreshing Thompson River,
to battling a glacier-fed king salmon, to then cut into fresh steaks for the grill.
to camping in the nearby wilderness areas. Further inland and east from Vancouver, Kamloops presents a nice break from the constant rain and gloom of the coast. That is not very delicious looking. A popular Canadian summer pastime is the community swap meet held outside on the weekends.
Do people want to watch this? Or should I open the panel? The panel's open. But personally I like his videos. I'll probably just play a little bit more. I just want to see the scenery. Canada's a beautiful country. But if people want to come up, you know where the link's at.
Ah, where are you from? Oh, we're from the States. Oh, yeah. Colorado. Are these all, gonna try all of them, or?
BC has the highest tax rate when it comes to liquor. So all liquor prices in BC are jacked.
That's where we are. Despite passing through a scenic, unpopulated area, we were still unable to relax in the open as railroad employees diligently inspected the passing train for dragging brake hoses, overheated axles, and uninvited passengers. Heading east into the Canadian Rockies, Revelstoke is the next stop when traveling via cargo train. Being that these trains were pretty dirty and that much of Canada that lay ahead had 0 rivers, made sense to take advantage of it. It definitely was not a pleasant thought to consider what this rail cop would do if he were to discover 2 American tourists on one of his trains. Despite Canada's seemingly more progressive and liberal nature than the United States, they definitely still took railroad security serious around this place. We resolved to block the thought of what might happen if the cops were to get us. The sunny mountain atmosphere was far too gay to be ruined by some grumpy Mountie. All right, well, just as a little update, still stuck in Revelstoke, British Columbia. Basically, what's going on is every train showing up is going that way. Well, we're trying to go that way because it's some kind of national holiday, Labor Day, same as the U.S. going on here. And in addition to a lot of railroad employees and citizens taking a break and going and partying, also the mosquitoes are enjoying themselves today quite a bit. And for that reason, I've got this silly contraption on my head. So we're just kind of hunkered down in this little, I guess it's a camp for other people who travel the same way we're trying to do here. All right, well, for today's update, we are All right, well, for today's update, we are kind of stuck in field as a track work project appears to have completely shut down the line. So I'm just, kind of a little disappointed with Canadian Pacific for the first time on this trip. This delay could cost us at least a day here in the field, which is not terribly interesting little town.
Definitely went and talked to the other guy. I was like, oh, there's you guys sleeping in there.
Still here, train has just showed up, heading east. Granted, it's been sitting here all night in the yard, but indications are we should be leaving field soon. So cheaper beer and warmer weather lie ahead, hopefully. Stuff's already on board.
Peace, Mark Basket, Marcel, Mesa Melt. Hopefully you guys can hear me clearly. I'm not going to play too much more of this. I was just waiting to see if people come in. And like I said, if anyone wants to come up, hit the link.
Well, I guess at this point, take the time to do a little MTV Cribs style deal about the rail cars we've been traveling in. So it's pretty fortunate they run these grain trains through the country because there's a lot of guys watching these trains we've been noticing. And, you're not supposed to be on the trains in Canada if you didn't know that. So basically what you've got here is a good way to stay out of sight and fairly comfortable. Kind of got like a two-person compartment in this hole. So, I mean, you got room for all your stuff, some beer in there. So this is Calgary. Understand it's not the most exhaustive view of the city you're going to see, but train is pulled into basically a fortress of barbed wire in the downtown with very little way to escape. And pretty much this looks like another big city to me. So we're just going to cruise on through. So apologize if you want to see a lot more of the town, but it's just probably not doable for us right now. On second thought, we're going to chance getting some beer. I'm sure this train is going to be gone. But when it's dark, obviously it's hard to tell. train is crew changing in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, and I think we're just gonna stay on. They're totally filthy and just roll it into some town in Canada with tax on it. It's just not probably gonna make things easier. Right. Oh, and the latest round of nonsense. So pretty much we're gonna have to do the next train or something. We're gonna get pulled off. I want to get pulled off with a passport. At this point, we're really starting to miss our homeland. While Canada is certainly a friendly, laid-back country, we're not Canadians. And now with my missing passport, it's possible things could even be getting worse. Facts are that if it's gone, we may have to end the trip early. I personally don't really feel like staying in the country under these circumstances. Unbelievable. 50 miles back on the site. Unbelievable miracle right by the tracks. Had to rent this stupid car. Drive back here to get this, but I think it's worth it. The pain in the ass that it was. I got off the train yesterday and this thing went the same way. This is Hugo.
Hi, it's Glenn.
Who I guess is coming from the east, as you can tell from his accent. Where'd you come from, Hugo?
I come from Montreal.
Do you have any interest in being a translator for our group? We're actually going in that direction.
Un traducteur? Non, mais t'es fou. No, I don't do translator for you. No.
So I mean, you're on these trains. You're French.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not worried about getting pulled off by the bull or.
The balls are terrible, but once you talk French, tu sais un peu, voilà, je comprends pas, voilà, they are fine. Just say, je ne sais pas, ha ha ha. Just try something like this, and it will be fine.
That's like an effort to confuse those guys because.
Yeah,
okay.
I definitely. And be careful, they don't want. I'm wearing shirt.
We may be going, into that area where no one speaks in English in Canada.
That's cool. Like that, you can say that. You can just talk in English and they will not understand. And they say, okay, go away.
So what got you, why are you on freight trains? You're not the typical guy doing this.
Why am I on freight trains? Because it's free. And you feel free. So
you're a French bum.
Yeah. How can I say that?
All right, man. Good talking.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Bon voyage.
Bonne chance à toi.
Right, so we have now arrived in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is about a couple hundred miles north of Minneapolis. We're about halfway. It's a big accomplishment, I think, so far that we have not been arrested. And I can say that our spirits they're a little bit ragged. We're dirty. There's guys hitchhiking, getting picked up all the time and going way further and faster than us and staying clean. So some travel plans may be amended. So just showing the Canadian Pacific Rail Police maintain a presence even a far distance from the yard. This is Winnipeg. Main lines heading east, which is a solid mile and a half. Fences, they're definitely vigilant up here, which I don't quite understand. Central United States, as well as eastern and western Canada. Well patrolled and obviously well fenced off, this yard appears to definitely be a task to catch out of. So does that mean you're not cleaning off in it?
No, I thought it was great. I took a dip. Feel a little bit cleaner.
So it's about out of Winnipeg. Everything looks good. stay down. High priority continues. I admit it's a little stressful when we're not speeding up. Don't dare peek outside. There's the bulls out there watching. This is commando. This is military. This is something probably you'd want the Army or the Marines for, not the Coast Guard. Coming into Kenora, Ontario. This place looks way too awesome not to get off. Kenora, Ontario. This has to be the most interesting spot ever that I've seen a train stop. Train stops there, and there's Lake of the Woods.
Man, there's a lot of negative energy today. Why would I throw a shot at you, Axis? You didn't do nothing to me. And even if someone did, I wouldn't throw a shot at them. No, that's not true. I might, but... Man. What did I... No, it's not a... I said open panel, open-minded, speculation, noise. If I had a problem with you, Axis, I would come talk to you behind the scenes. I wouldn't put nothing up on here like that. I don't do that. That's even if you're still here, Axis. You probably left, but peace out, Alchemos83, Mark Basket, Axis. Mic check. Oh, okay, cool. Somebody get Axis in here, man. Damn. We got Native and Faceplant. We're going back and forth. Now I'm being accused of throwing cheap shots. Mark said I'm always starting shit. Anyway, I have no problems with nobody. I put noise because a lot of information that's out there is like noise. I'm glad Dom said that because I like that saying. It's just a lot of noise. Yeah, words are confusion. Like, I even get it when I leave comments and shit. Like, people take it wrong because they're not able to. It's not coming out of your mouth, so they don't know how it's being presented. You know, usually people go by how it's said or the attitude, if you have an attitude with it or not. But yeah, no one has a problem with your access. I don't know where that came from. But I'll have to get Dom somehow to get a hold of access, considering he did a hit and run with the comment. I woke up in a fucked up mood myself, but then I put myself in a good mood, and now I'm back in a fucked up mood again. Like a biatch. Hey Chuck, you need some maxi pads? You're in a bitchy mood? Oh, no, Axis, I have no problems with you, man. There's a few people I enjoy when they come up here, man. You're one of them. You know, people with real knowledge and wisdom. It's good to have people that are older with wisdom, because then I just like listening. The moon, fuck! That's what I forgot to look for this morning when I left. The moon. It was huge yesterday, and I said, well, I couldn't get a good picture of it. And I said, well, I'll just catch it tomorrow morning. When I left, I wasn't even thinking about that. I have to get some lion's mane or try some. See, I don't trust supplements for the most part. You know, I've lost all trust when it comes to the medical, government, like police. Trust was never there. But medical, I've lost all respect and trust for them. You know, I would have to fall out and die almost to go to the hospital. You know, and even then I'd be like, just bring me home. You just can't be trusted, man. But I want to try that supplement that Christos talks about, lion's mane or whatever it's called. I need some. I think my body is off balance, man. I can't think straight a lot. My brain's in the fog from all the fluoride and chemicals we breathe in. Look at this picture of Jesus, or Jesus. Jesus Cristo. He looks a little confused in this picture. Yeah, I heard some lady this morning say Jesus was created by these beings that been here 215 million years, right? That's what this lady said, that they've been occupying Earth before we were here. Basically saying Jesus was created and Jesus wasn't human. Jesus was an alien or something. And they created Jesus to teach humans how to be peaceful and loving and not killing, right? Like we can't do that on our own. Like we were modified monkeys and shit. I want one of those monkeys that turn to humans, man. That would be the best pet to have. Watch your monkey evolve into a person like you. What's up with these channels starting? I remember I had Monday, or I had Mayhem Monday, right? And then for Tuesdays I had Tyrannical Tuesday. You know, I was gonna start something like that. Now I see other channels doing something Monday, and then you know it's like, dude, I swear people be biting. Or a lot of theories I bring up. Now I hear these bigger channels. Now I'm not saying they copied me. They could be thinking just like me, but it's a little weird. I wouldn't doubt these bigger channels to watch little channels steal their shit or their thoughts, you know, and then air them like they came up with the shit. What's good? Somebody come up. Access. If not, I have a few backup plans. Oh, you use it yourself? What's up, Drop? Yeah. Man, I guess so far the only person that's going to be on my album is Sir Drop. I'm going to take probably the 2 tracks that were created by Drop. Basically, he did all the work, and I'm going to put them as bonus tracks. And then I'm working on another track. Oh, there's Sir Drop. I might change that verse drop on that beat I sent you. I was thinking about it. I might. I don't know. I sent it to you just so you'd give me an opinion on what you think about it. You'd always be honest and be like, Chuck, that shit's whack. Change it. What's up, Axis?
No, that'd be cool.
How's it going, Charles?
Pretty good.
Sir Drop, I don't think we've ever been on panel together before.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Sir Drop's cool.
Yeah, I've heard him on here. Yeah, I've heard him on here a time or two. Old schooler, right?
Yeah, Sir Drop. Always dropping. His name fits him perfect. He's always dropping some knowledge and wisdom that'll get you thinking.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, opening the brain cavities. Yeah, but yeah, be stealing your shit. It's sort of like the music industry. They hear a local person's song and just take it and come out with it. Go ahead and pay them off if they get sued because they still made so much money on it.
Yeah, I heard the guy talking about, because I remember when I first learned about the chemtrails and then HARP and all this stuff, and I thought to myself, if we're breathing in, allegedly these are metals being sprayed up there. Nobody knows. We haven't tested, but this is alleged. So if that's the case, I was thinking, well, if they're using microwaves for signals, or those things, you know, are microwaves, what happens to metal when you put it in a microwave? We fill up with metals and they activate that on a large scale. But anyway, I heard a guy talking about that. He made this whole spiel, and it's almost like, I'm not saying he got it from me, maybe he's thinking the same as me. Now I hear this big channel talking about it. He made it like, I think he's got a, like, you know how like people will sell you something? That's what he's kind of doing, like this package on cleansing the body and all that. And I don't know. I see a lot of things like that are on.
What'd he say?
Huh?
What'd he say? Man, he said he gonna kill me and you. That's a scene off Friday, man. No, that's a scene off Friday. He came back from talking to Big Worm and Ice Cube asking, what'd he say? He said, yeah, he said he gonna kill me and you. He's like, man, I smoked a little itty bitty piece of that joint. But yeah, they taking your shit.
Didn't that guy pass away that played Big Worm? I think he did.
No, that's Faison Love. No, that's Faison Love. He ain't passed away.
My favorite part was when this dude was taking a doo-doo and he was like, Smokey! Is that you over there taking a shit? He was like, Smokey! That shit was funny as hell.
Now that dude passed away. That dude you talk, my neck and my back. Ezel, he passed away. Yeah, he passed away. Played in
that was my
Players
favorite
Club
movie,
too.
man. Friday. Friday after next was alright. And then next Friday was alright. But the first Friday, it's a classic. The 90s was like the best era for like movies and music. What do you think about P. Diddy's getting his places rated on the anniversary of Biggie Small's album? The same day that double album came out, which was the 25th, which is yesterday, March 25th, 1996. The album came out, and then they just rated his properties yesterday on the anniversary of it. And what's on the album? Kick in the door. Just like they did to him, they kicked in his door.
That shit that shit fake. But if you notice, it's the 3 7s. That's 325, right? That's 3 7s. That's jackpot. But they all that shit fake. All
That's
that
what I
shit
was
they
thinking.
trying to now it's real because people gonna believe it, so it's real. It's gonna draw the right effect. And the right effect is I don't care how much money you got, nigga. Straight like that. They is not gonna let these motherfuckers become kings, man. And a king is not a good thing for real because it takes rulership and ownership and power. But look, if you see they knock them all down, they'll give you a Weinstein, but you don't hear nothing about nobody else having to flee the country. Kiss ain't have to flee the country. Uh, Paul McCartney ain't have to flee the country. And his zesty self wasn't never caught with transgenders and all these black eyes on the game. It be all the black people, and people just act like they don't see it. And then what make it worse is black people actually promote their hatred on black people. You know how many black channels went up and said they rated Diddy and ain't say nothing about that's what he get if it was true. So if this true, y'all more worried about him getting raided than the shit he getting raided for. And there wasn't nobody even talking about it. They was taking it as celebrity gossip. Now you get raided, everybody want to get clickbait off of it. When it's really just a black eye on a black man, because all that shit fake is to put a eyesore on. Yeah, you could be a millionaire and be a scumbag. Look at Bill Cosby, scumbag. Look at Michael Jackson, scumbag. They made Prince wear his ass cut out in all his shows. Scumbag. Look at see, they gonna throw a scandal on the black man. The black woman, they just take them out like Whitney Houston. See, these things is the devil is entertainment. The devil is not a thing with horns. The devil is a way of life, a field of energy that you can get lost in. And that's what they all getting lost in when they go to Hollywood. But go
Yeah,
ahead,
that's
you
a
got it.
good way you put it. Like, and I also think because of the reason they did raid his house, I think they're trying to make it look like they're doing something about it. Like he was a key player in it, and they're trying to like make it look like no one will get away with it, not even someone with that much money. It's like they did to Trump. They're trying to make it look like something's being done about it, but in reality, it's just an illusion.
Yeah, if you notice, this only happened basically 3 times. Tupac's aunt, Russell Simmons, and P. Diddy, where they fly somewhere and can't get extradited. Dave Chappelle fled before they could even do the psyop with him. He just went to Africa. Like, y'all not even about to play me crazy. I'm going to take myself out the game for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if that's the same Dave Chappelle that they brought back. Who knows? But shit weird, man. It's weird. And they've been doing that to all the kings and queens and princes and princesses of black people since King Tut and them. Man, they killed King Tut when he was 16. Fuck out of here. How you even be King Tut at 16? See, people say Tupac, this smart guy, right? How I know he was getting fed what to say. He was only 26. I don't know no 26-year-old that wise and grown. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, you either ain't 26, that's when he died. So when he made Brenda's Got a Baby, he was about 18. You tell me an 18-year-old can write Brenda's Got a Baby. Yeah, whatever. I'll believe it one day. But I'm saying all this shit is 50-50. It can be real. It can be fake. It can be scripted. It can be a conspiracy. I know it's 50-50. I can't lean 100% no way with this shit. Hell no, not with the Simpsons coming out 2-3 years before events happen. Not when I done found the old clip of when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. I found the old ass movie on the shorts. It's like from 1970. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. And dude walk up on the stage, slap the black comedian. His wife sitting there looking with the stale face. I'm like, this shit way too fake now. Now they getting caught with what they call it, predictive programming. But go ahead, you got it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that predictive programming. I also like, they say people predict the future. You know, how do they predict the future? But they create it. That's all part of the plan. Like if I said next week somebody is gonna buy 100 Pepsis at this store at this time, but you already know you paid someone to do it, and then it happens, and people are like, oh my god, they predicted it. You know, I don't believe none of that prediction stuff.
Yeah, that's why the prophecies is in the Bible, and that's why it's called scripture. It's a script they follow. That's why the prophecies happen in order. They don't even happen out of order. So everything they say gonna happen in the Bible, it happens in order. It's not
That's
this
crazy.
happened, then that happened. Right? It's a script, and they
I
gonna
never
follow
looked at it
up.
like that, Drop.
Yeah, them
My whole
Catholics
life.
gonna follow that. You know, Catholics gonna follow that script to the end. That's their ancestors' diary, like basically.
That's my
This is what I
grandmother,
want y'all to
Catholic.
do. This is what we need to do, and that's what we're gonna do. And it's all chaotic. The Bible is a horror story. You tell me one good thing at the ending of a Bible. Even Jesus got hung and they drug his blood. I mean, they drained his blood. There's nothing in there where you like, yes, yes. Job starved out.
Look at this
And
picture I found, Drop, since you brought it up.
Explain it.
I'm trying to figure it out myself. It's like a tree, and he looks like half his body's in the tree, but there's an Indian in the picture, number one, or an indigenous, or whatever label we want to put on it. We know it's an Indian. I don't know, because I've heard Jesus was so-called hung in a tree, but I don't know.
I do know this, and this is what a lot of black people fail to realize. All right, Jesus was black. To those, everybody around him was black. Great. Black people the one drug and hung that motherfucker just like we do our own people today. But they want to say, oh, the Romans did it. The white man. Man, you telling me 200-300 Romans can come in a whole village of black people that love one black person and just beating to death in front of every nigga? So either way you look at it is fucked up. If they did do that, it's fucked up on our end. And if we did it to him, it's fucked up on our end. We get no light shine for nothing good ever in history. Motherfuckers say, yeah, black women need to watch their mouth, right? No. Black women, all women need to watch their mouth talking to a black man. You don't hear a black woman talking crazy to any other race, but you hear every other race talking crazy to us. You ever saw a dude with a white chick? That white chick is so mouthy, dog. You ever saw how a Chinese lady every woman talk to a black man like that? Because it's taught through history. It's nothing about the black woman. They are like black women just be mouthing off. every race mouth off to a black man. Period. And I don't know why it is, but I think it's taught that way. A black man ain't shit. We done hung y'all. We done made you bring your whole family to cotton fields. We done stripped you of your manhood. We locking y'all up by the dozens, and ain't none of y'all families
I
been
used to
coming to
think that
visit
same
y'all.
thing, drop. Like, how could they? All right, they said they hung so-called black people, right? How is like 10 white dudes gonna march up in the area of thousands of black people and hang someone? They would get their boots smoked off. It don't happen today. It don't happen. So why would it happen back then? And vice versa, you know? They weren't hanging just black people. It was
And
whoever
it was
opposed them.
but when you look back on how they doing now, and 85% of the jails is black people.
Yeah.
When we become ancestors and our future look back at that shit, you're gonna be like, how y'all let them do that? It's psychology. You get conditioned. If I break your will, a glass of water is like $1 million to you. And when I give it to you, you feel I gave you something because you was that thirsty. Just if I chain you up and don't give you a bath, and then send a woman in there just to give you a sponge bath, you will get the gratification of a jacuzzi. Just a sense of I can breathe. And they got their foot on our neck, and it ain't just black people. They started with us. That's what they practice on. Now they do for sure every place but the United States. Now the United States do it where our jails is condominiums compared to shithole countries. So they put it like this: a nigga in
That's
jail
factual.
is living better than a free person in Cambodia.
When I went to prison, it was mixed. But when I went up the way, when I was in county, it was pretty, leveled out with, white and black people and Spanish. Then when I went up the way, white people were the least. And yeah, there was a lot of black people up the way. In Spanish. It seemed they were the majority.
Hey,
You
one
should
thing
watch
you should have
this
did.
guy in New York City. He said when he went to prison, you know how in prison drop they got 4 tiers that go up high? He said in I think it was Rikers Island, the cell block went for like a mile, he said. It was 4 tiers up, or was it up the way? But either way, he said this is where all my people are. It was just mostly because it's mostly black and Puerto Rican people, or Dominican, any Spanish in New York. He's like, he was shocked to see it, but slavery still exists. People just they don't need to cuff you and beat you.
I bet a good statistic to look up, which would be checkmate, is what race has the highest percentage of a dad and son in jail at the same time, or sharing a cell for that matter. Where your son come in, you doing life. You done been in there about 9-10 years. Your son 21 and come up in that bitch. You looking at him like that shit,
Yeah, the
man.
system, like, I've watched videos of people that went to prison in the 70s. They said the food used to be good. They had so many programs so you could turn your life around. And in the 80s, they started to take the weights out. And they said it was because, they were getting bigger than the guards and all this stuff. Then, whatever. And they started taking all the programs out. So now it's just a revolving door. There's barely any programs. You go to prison to change your life. And
And
they should
back in the day, like if you went to jail in the 70s, you can get out in the 80s and still be caught up. Life wasn't moving that fast. You can
or
do
you could
3
get
years
a
and
weekend pass.
no, what I'm saying is now life moving so fast that if you do 3, 4 years, you behind 20 years. Like if you went to jail 10 years ago, I don't know nothing about no YouTube, no internet, and all this Siri, play a song, and cameras all over every goddamn stop sign, and like the technology and everything is moving way faster. So ain't nobody got 10 years to sit down. When they get out, they're not gonna know how to function. Even if you tell them how to function, they're not gonna know how to do it. It's gonna scare them, and that's where you get them lifers that say, "Man, I'll just go back to jail, man." People don't understand how scary responsibility is if you ain't had to do it in 10 years. Now you gotta pay bills. Now you gotta buy clothes. Now you gotta feed yourself. Now you need a car. You need your license. Now you need to know how to land this interview. Now you need to and you already behind and they looking at you as a criminal. That shit scares a lot of them people, man. And the system knows no way for you to catch back up after a 15-year bit. Not nowadays. Go to jail and get out in 2000 and fucking 40. Bro, this shit gonna be completely different. And that's just 15 years. You're not gonna be able to. You're not gonna know what's going on. Put it like that. And they not understanding that people
That's why
gonna
they
have
need programs. You know, we got to somehow
keep
fight
them up to
to
speed.
get that change.
No,
In
just
a lot
quit
of
locking us
prisons,
up.
they
So
they
you
let
got it.
people kill each other. Like, there's no rehabilitation. Put it that way. Prisons are designed to keep you revolving. Like a lot of people say, even me, when I went to prison, you could like speak to people and learn from their mistakes and become a better criminal in so many ways too.
And you gotta compare the charges with the time. When you see black people they're in there doing 2, 3 years for some shit that they weren't supposed to go to jail for. You know what I mean? That become not if you just killed somebody, send that dumbass nigga to jail. He just ran by and shut that nigga mama house up. Yeah, send him to jail. But you have a motherfucker get caught with an 8 ball, get 5 years, and on the other token, a white guy get caught with an ounce and get probation. Two different scales they weighing them on when they go to court. When you go to court as a white guy, they're gonna slap you on the wrist if you're not from the ghetto. If you from the ghetto, they're gonna treat you just like a nigga. But if you somebody or you come from some type of family, oh man, you ain't going to jail, and they be knowing it. You ever saw a white guy come to work, he get hired in, but he quit in like 4 or 5 days because it's that easy for him to get a job. Black dude gotta sit there and grind it out. Ain't no time, man. He was looking for work for 6 months. Only thing he could go get hired in was Burger King or something real fast. But to get a quality job, he like, oh, they giving me 25. I ain't fucking this up for nothing. And on the same end, a white boy say, I'll get a job tomorrow, dog. Got my resume, make a couple calls. My dad told me to go here and talk to Howard. Howard hired me in. Like that, bro. It ain't no put your shit on Indeed. Man, all right. Believe that shit if y'all want to, man. It's way easier. And that's the hidden thing that people don't want to discuss. They say I work my ass off. Yeah, you worked your ass off. But you had work to work your ass off with. Fuck you mean? Of course you worked your ass off at pre-med school. You got niggas working their ass off just to pay the electric for Mom's Dukes because they cut it off last month. So he's 16, 17 paying bills in his own house. Who really working their ass off?
Hey, Charles, you got
Fucked
this
up.
rolling now. I'm going to jump off here and grab some sleep.
All right, Axis. Have a good day.
You guys have a good day, man.
Man, I wanted to hear you build, man. You ain't even say nothing. He said, I'm out, bro. But that do be
Yeah.
touchy when you get to talking about colors and races and all that. It do get touchy because it ain't nothing but division. Me even talking about it is division. Whether I'm right or wrong, it don't need to be spoke upon because they know if we speak upon it, it'll divide people.
Well, it
You know what I
depends who
mean?
you're speaking with, though. Sometimes it feels good that I could speak to, you know, a black person about these topics without, you know, friction being caused. Some people just you can't speak to them about it. It is a touchy subject, but sometimes I guess there's a time and place for everything.
Look, I was trying to holler at my OG, rest in peace. He passed away probably like 2 months ago. Probably like 70 years old, 75, right? White dude. I bring up this, you know, the Civil War and all that, and the free the slaves and all that. And he said, what people don't understand, it's a white dude. He was like, our people was killing their own mothers and brothers and fighting for the other side. Where he said they would literally, like if you had a brother, Charles, and he stood on the other side, he was fair game. He said that fucked them up so mentally that they don't nobody talk about it. But you know, you killing your own family because they trying to stand on the other side. You know, sort of like how a family would get in an argument over Donald Trump. Say the wife want Trump, the husband want Biden, and it be friction. Back then, that friction was death. They went to war with
Hey,
each other. That's crazy. Go ahead.
drop Olsen Yemi says, what's up?
Dave, man, they need to do some to keep it 100. They need to start a unsolved mysteries with random people. You know what I mean? Just random people, missing people,
I
vanishing
wonder how many
people.
children go missing every year, drop. You know, like they say it's the I don't know how I want to put that, trafficking or whatever. They say it, but how can that many children be birthed when the birth rate is down? Like that many go missing every year. It's insane if you think
Google
about
it.
the numbers. Yeah, about to.
But if you Google it, it's still, it ain't
Speculation.
gonna tell you. It's
Hey, what
still
up?
sensitive.
What up, Drop? What's
What's
up?
happening?
What's up, Charles?
What's up,
What's
Cage?
happening?
Bro, I just looked it up. They're saying in the United States alone, 460,000 children go missing. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what
Like
I'm
half a
saying. That's
million?
huge.
That's
It's like a million children every 3
yeah.
years.
They're saying every year, 460.
And you can and if you just take that for 10% truth, and it's 100,000, that's a lot, man. If we take their number to smallest we can make it, it's still a lot. Now, what if they only giving us the smallest number they can get, and it is 1 million a year? That's crazy too. Either way, it's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's fucked, man.
And this ain't people, these is children. Now, when we get to talking about missing people and children, it gotta be 1 million. Got to. Let alone, then if you do the world, now if they missing, some of them can be accounted for and found, but the majority of them, where are they missing to? And what is y'all doing with them? They could be in labs. That's how they know how to put the metaverse in your head. And it could be lab rats like the Nazis, bro. Concentration camps, bro. You never know, dude.
Some human trafficking
Crazy.
shit, bro.
They were saying they got some type of base in Antarctica and shit, right? And they surround this little base, but the base goes into the ground. So I'm saying this is where Admiral Byrd flew in, right? But they guard it heavily. What if that's where they taking these fleets of people? I bet they gonna tell us on this next King Kong movie. What?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I've heard people come out, and not people, a person that was in the military said they hide them underground, and the only way you can find these rooms they're hidden in is they cover it with dirt, the doors. So you got to dig, and who knows how true it is, but if they're gonna operate, obviously they haven't been caught above ground, so you know. I think one day Bex even said, "What if that's all bullshit?" You know, she was playing devil's advocate, and
That is all bullshit. It is all bullshit. What I think they do is when you have these humans that's really aliens, I think it's more of a demon possession, right? And when it's demon possession, you have the smarts of this demon. You have the vision, everything. So now you can know what television pixels is, and that would be the smallest thing of technology. And can't nobody you talk to ever on this YouTube make a television pixel screen. They're not gonna even know where to start. I'm quite sure you can Google it and make a TV. But who was the person that said I can turn this signal into pixels and show your face? That's
but
possession.
I always
That's
think,
not enough. You got it.
no, I was just agreeing. Like that's what I think. Drop. Like who thought of all this stuff? And what brought them to that point to think? You know, maybe I think we were taught this tech maybe from the taller people that lived here, wherever they went. I don't believe none of that alien nonsense that little green men or even demons taught this stuff. Um,
Now I do believe bugs come from something rather, and bugs is different. If you ever look at a bug up close, you will see the alien. Just look at a fly under a microscope. Look at a praying mantis. Look at these bugs, and you will say, "Oh." Now imagine
that's
a
where they get it
praying
for in the
mantis with
movies,
this.
right? That's what you're saying?
Either that or they really is the aliens. Look, imagine a praying mantis was the size of a Rottweiler.
Oh,
The
fuck
praying
that shit.
mantis could kill something, I forgot, like 20 times its weight and shit. Bite its head off.
But you would swear that was an alien walking down the street for sure. You see the alien? But it's so
Yeah.
microscopic, and people think too big to not even know the biggest things in life is microscopic. Ain't
It
nothing you
was
can see. It's the photosynthesis that make the sun what it is, not the bright sun. The photosynthesis is microscopic. The biggest things, the cells in your body, microscopic. Cancer, microscopic. Everything that determines life and death is microscopic. Sperm cells is microscopic. Um, Shit crazy, man. Go ahead.
What we looking at here?
I think it's supposed to be a map. I've noticed a lot of these old maps, like, oh, I erased it. They have this thing on it called the Globus Cruciger. I'll pull it back up. Hold on, so I can show you. It's right. Dude, I just had it. The picture. Oh, there it is. Like this right here. How the bottom is cut in like a T, and it usually has a cross on the top, which Jesus holds it a lot. Julius Caesar, the queens, like kings, have hold this. Even God is in pictures holding this globus cruciger. To me, it's like technology. Some of it looks like a crystal ball, and the cross is the antenna. Just like in the old buildings, the cross is nothing but an antenna. Then they put Jesus up on it to cover up whatever I think's the truth. But it was these old churches were dealing with energy. They weren't even churches. They were buildings that, you know, just like I showed the pictures of the old houses in Connecticut. They have domes on them, where I think they might have had like red mercury and all that stuff to pull energy from the ether. I'll pull the pictures up again to show people. And in the globus cruciger, they only have Africa, Europe, and Asia. The Americas isn't even on the map, which is odd to me. It's very odd.
Yeah, that is crazy. But it got me thinking, like, say the earth flat, right? Now let's take a pie, right? And make it a cake. That's what the earth is. They got it too thin crusted. I think it's as thick as a cake, man. Flat on the top, round on the sides, period. What D had. But I don't know why America wouldn't be on the map. Probably not discovered yet. I actually got a video that show, like, I'm gonna send it to you. I'll probably do like 100 map, not 100. I'm gonna say at least 25 maps and shit. Where I just show the maps. You can screenshot them.
Sure.
I don't talk about them or nothing. So you can screenshot them and break them all down. Cause I just got a beat playing, and then I show like the Decatur map, all the maps and shit.
Look at these drop. These houses are in the city. I mean the capital city. Whenever I'm walking around, there's so many of these houses. They said they were built in the 17 and 1800s, but they always have these domes, and on the domes they have a metal thing there, which probably an antenna was hooked up to it. But I think, you know, a lot of these houses have these freaking domes. This is an apartment building, has a dome. Now people could say, oh, in houses they built that for a room, you know, but it's not just the houses. It's this is an apartment building. The one corner of the apartment building has this, like a room where they would have maybe some red mercury or whatever up in that room to pull the energy from the ether.
Do you know what that style is called? And I bet if you Google, yeah, because you would be able to Google lightning strike in that little emblem. The same thing they put on the front of cars. But you would be able to strike. You would see lightning. That's for energy. I bet lightning strike that shit all the time. Guaranteed. Like, just, I bet you could just see it, bro. I know that's what it's for. No.
Like this thing, it's in the center of the city, and this is the center of New Britain. This is there. This thing, I remember used to be able to go in here and go down underneath to use a bathroom that used to be in there. This thing looks old. Nothing in the surrounding areas has that same material as this thing. It's almost out of place, you know? Like, that's the only thing left from the old world is that. Seeing there, everything else looks like it was built after.
Man, we got a graveyard in my city, right? Like the oldest grave. They probably died in like 1901. But most of these graves, you can just kick the tombstone over. Just a rock on top of it. But it is so classic. Here's what makes it so dope. Now, mind you, I told you the latest one is probably 1903. Do you know these people were so important that every Memorial Day they get all these flowers brought to their grave? These people could not have even known you. If you died in 1903, they had to be 122 years old. So they were so important to their family and left so much behind to their family. You know, they got the big picture of them in all their houses. That's your great, great, great grandfather, Oxford, such and such. To still get flowers 150 years later from your family is big. Trust me. Your greatest grandkids never met you and they bringing you flowers. Bro, that's a big name. That's all I got out the graveyard. I had to stay right across the street from that motherfucker. I saw some footsteps going through the fence where it's like they didn't jump the fence. Like the footsteps was going and then they just continued on the other side of the fence. That shit freaked me out. Maybe somebody met somebody at the gate and was still talking to him and walked backwards for like 10 steps. And you know, that's why it looked it like that, but it was still spooky. But it's a reason for everything, but that shit was spooky to me, bro.
Look at these churches drop. But the funny part is both of these churches are literally on the same side of the street, and they're not even not far at all, not even half a mile from each other, probably like a quarter of a mile, if that. And they look almost identical. Almost. Same concept. And it's just weird that all these have clocks on them. What are the clocks replacing? That's what I want to know.
All right, here's how you gonna know if it's some zoom in on the clock and see what time it is. This how you know if it's just somebody took a picture or motherfuckers knowing it's gonna either be 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Oh, with your own camera?
Yeah. That's why it has on the bottom, it says Chuck the God, because I have a, every time I take a picture, my name will be on it. But yeah, all these pictures, I took them. Like this,
Still
the top of
zoom
the
in
church.
on the time.
I took all these pictures myself. Yep. That means they're gonna have to pay me. I'm gonna copyright them. Look at this snow.
You see the last picture you put? What the fuck is that at the top of that thing? Some sort of a...
What, this?
Yeah.
That's a woman, and she's holding a, I think she, not, what are them things called? It's shaped like a U, but they're leaves. Or it looks like she's holding a toroidal field, and then in the other hand, she has those things that's supposed to mean peace or something. You know, a lot of the statues hold it. Olive branch or some shit to extend peace or whatever it means. There's so many statues, and they all seem to have something gold. And like I found some real old statues in Germany before WW2, not WWF. WW2, and you can just tell that we didn't build that stuff. Look at this snow, man. I've never seen snow where there are little thin lines everywhere. Instead of, they're not all snowflakes. Excuse me. They're like thin lines of whatever they're doing up there. It's coming down in the snow. You know, whatever they're spraying up there. We're being exterminated.
Hey, if you get a chance, type in, it might even show my homie that did it. And I think Truth Searcher did it. They grab a pile of snow and catch it on fire.
What was that? Say it again. Because you were borging out.
They grab a handful. I said they grabbed a handful of snow and caught it on fire, and the snow turned black. You might can find the video and shit.
Yeah, I heard about that drop. That's what man, now you bring that up. When it snowed here, we got snow twice this year. That's it, in Connecticut. And it was it melted within a day or two. But that's what I wanted to do when it snowed, was that. I was curious to see. Someone else did it. And I don't know if they said it turned black, but I know they said it didn't melt into water. It disappeared. That's crazy. Like, what the fuck are they doing?
111 Truth Searcher did it. You know he ain't gonna lie about it.
111 Truth Searcher?
You don't know who Truth Searcher is?
I gotta switch over to my laptop.
He did it on camera. He told me he did it, but I know my people in Akron did it on camera. You can just type in snow caught on fire. Man light snow on fire and it turns black.
Man light snow on fire. That's funny. People are like, you can't light snow on fire. Yeah, you can if you put gasoline in it. Imagine that. Somebody drinks gasoline and lights a cigarette. I wonder what would happen. First off, you'd probably be sick as hell on impact in your stomach, that gasoline. Bells, free energy, frequency, vibration, etc., and healing. Hey, as a matter of fact, in Hartford, Connecticut, they had a factory. I think it was the 1920s it closed, or 1930s, or 1800s, though. I know they had an electric bike and car factory in Hartford, Connecticut when I looked it up. Electric cars. And
yeah, the first car was 1830, first electric car. Yeah, you can Google that.
You guys hear about the guy who made the water car and got poisoned and shit and killed?
yeah. And then his car disappeared. Yep. How about the guy who made a machine that, because there's water all around us in the air, but it was pulling the moisture out of the air. This machine.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah.
I really hope nothing happens to him. Everyone in the comments was like, "This man must be protected." It was a black man at that. So, not that that matters. I'm just saying, because probably these people in power seem to be kind of racist people, man. I'm not saying that, you know. But anyway, fuck that. He should be protected, period. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you're dark or light. But that's fucking incredible that you can create a machine to pull the moisture out of the air, you know? But would the water lack natural, like...
Well, that's not difficult to do. Like, you know, like a dehumidifier?
True.
Dehumidifier, yeah, it pulls out and then you get, like, you have to empty the water out of it. They already have that kind of. It's like a dehumidifier.
Well, what about... I seen this new thing that Joe Rogan on YouTube, they were talking about this water thing that puts hydrogen in your water, and the guy was saying, I could think so much more clearly. It's not like I'm in a fog or tired anymore. Like, you know, they write that out for the commercial, but I wonder how true that is. The guy was saying it saved. What's that guy from UFC? The bald guy that pretty much owns the Dana White or something like that.
Yeah,
Say
Dana
that
White.
saved his life. The hydrogen. It's like this thing, this cup or whatever, and it puts natural hydrogen into your water. Don't your water need to be charged with alkaline and with minerals that you could get from spring water? Like, what's better than spring water from deep in the earth? Nice, fresh, clean, mineralized or alkaline spring water. I drink some cactus water.
The thing is with water. Thing is with water is it's supposed to have nothing in it. Nothing.
Real?
So when they get to saying alkaline, yeah, once it's got something in it, it's not water. It's supposed to be pure so it can flush stuff in you out. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, the water supposed to be pure, like pure.
Interesting. I didn't
So
know
like
that.
spring water caught from like, yeah, like spring water and stuff like that, that's like real water. But when you get to getting them alkaline waters and all that other shit, it got other stuff in it. So it's not water. Water,
Yeah.
you supposed to it's supposed to come right out your body. As soon as when you drink it, it's supposed to flush through, pee out. Not help your body do other things. You got other juices and shit for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that alkaline shit. You guys ever looked into Dr. Sebi? You know that guy or no?
Yeah, hell yeah. He's my bad for Borgen, but yeah, that acidic diet, yeah, where he be talking about that's what caused mucus and all that shit. Cause motherfuckers' body not alkaline and shit.
Cold water causes mucus too. It thickens it. Cold water, like it was freezing something, but then hot water make your nose run. Drop on that thing I sent you. I was gonna probably either change or leave that verse, then have you put a verse, and then I was gonna feed off of your verse. I don't know. I suck at choruses or.
No, don't change it.
Well, I already sent
Don't
it to
change
you.
it. Right. I'm saying
The
don't
verse,
change
the
it,
one I
though.
sent you. No, leave it.
Yeah.
Why? You don't think it's that bad?
No, it ain't that bad. I mean, you think you're gonna write the best verse in the world every time? No, it
Yeah, you're
passed.
right.
You want to write something else, put it on something else. But don't just be throwing away material because it ain't your best material. Like, yeah, ain't nothing
Drop, you
wrong with
even
it.
put your stuff. Drop even puts his warm up. That day you put out that you said you were warming up, or
Yeah, I just did another one like this morning and shit. But I just called it a song. Fuck it. But yeah, I think I called it Strangle Rappers. Yeah, and I just say a couple little bars and shit.
Yeah, you can even
You
tell
know when
like.
I'm trying to make some. Go ahead, you got it.
My bad, but I was just reading that comment about the alkaline. If you test your skin, most people are really acidic, like under 4.0 in pH. And it's like we're like plants in a way. So if your pH is off, you're not gonna be, your body's not gonna be functioning properly. I thought there
I
was something
drank
to
some
it.
of the cactus water for the first time ever from the cactus fruit, on this water. It was the most. It tasted so like when I took a sip and drank it. It felt like my body was like, wow, more of that. Like that's how good it tasted. Like tap water tastes like you're drinking a cup of chemicals for sure. Like it's as bad as you could smell. I remember being locked up in the showers. All you smelled was bleach or ammonia smell in the water. I could start smelling that now. Horrible, man. They're killing people with that.
Yeah, left eye was on Dr. Sebi's ranch, right? She said when she came back to America, she could feel the water burning her skin. That's how toxic it was. She said over there she ain't really think about it because the water was so pure on this ranch. So she taking her showers or whatever. She said as soon as she came to America, she could just feel it. Like shit crazy.
Same with the food. People complain when they go to other countries. The food, it tastes so much better and
it's different, way different.
And they don't gain weight. They eat as much as they want. But here, not the food's horrible and you gain weight and it has no benefit for the most part. When I think about shit like this, it's like, why do we allow this to happen? Man, it gets me fired up. I'm like, this is bullshit.
And you know
what you gonna do, man? Ain't nothing you can do, bro. You will have to get in it. People get mad at me when I say this, but you got to do what they doing and change it from the inside. You got to infiltrate. If you don't like the way the police running, become a police officer and run it different. If you don't like the way the city council doing the city, you got to get in there and infiltrate it because that structure is almost impenetrable, whatever the word is.
We got to teach the youth drop because then, it's past, for the most part, we're not going to get, I'm not saying we can't. We could maybe do some politics, but we got to get some youth to teach them now the corruption, show them, and then have them slither their way in and bite, drop the hammer on their forehead.
Yeah, like I remember Dominic says he goes up to this well, an artesian water source to get his water in that. Or it could use something like, I use it for growing, something called reverse osmosis, right, where it takes out all that shit, it filters it all out. But even then, it's like, yeah, if you're trying to avoid that shit, but look what you take a shower in. You know what I mean? That all that fluoride's being absorbed through the skin. The skin's the biggest organ, right? So it's called transdermal. So all that shit is going directly into your largest organ.
Yeah.
Skin,
But how about the people don't think about the shampoo, the soap, all that too goes through the skin and it's very bad for you. This is all for entertainment purposes only. You don't believe anything we say, you could just go look it up yourself.
Not medical advice,
But it's true, like shampoo, look at some of the ingredients. Like how can that be good for our scalp and our brain? Like putting if you look some of the stuff up, it's like I'm putting this in my head.
You can get natural shit,
Yeah.
Or even look at the deodorant; it has aluminum in it.
Yeah.
One of the main things they do is through these heavy metals, the heavy metals. That's one of the main causes of disease,
Just even deodorant alone is to stop you from letting poisons out your body. That's what you sweat for. You know what I mean? So just putting on an antiperspirant pH balance deodorant, your body trying to let toxins out, but that deodorant is stopping it. And you wonder why when you don't put on the deodorant, you get musty because you never sweated this shit out since you was fucking 8 years old. You stink.
I think it has a lot to do with your diet and shit too, what you eat.
Yeah, Dr. Sebi said that too. He said it when he started eating right, he couldn't smell his shit.
Yeah.
It didn't smell.
Do you think he actually died of pneumonia or he got taken out? They tried saying he died of pneumonia.
Just
I don't know. He might. I don't know. I think all that shit be fake. I know they took him off the scene though. That's for sure. He might still be alive, far as I know. But they took his ass off the scene for sure.
who remembers when I read the Masonic Creed, and you know whether Rockefeller wrote that or not, they're on point with it. And I was thinking one day, like the amount of intake of chemicals and metals that we like, if it ain't from the air, like or like you said, Cage, deodorants. Look at the frying pans. They had C8, which is Teflon coating they use to coat the pans. They said 99% of the world has C8 in their bloodstream.
Oh, you're
It's
talking about
everywhere.
the shit first, so it's anti-stick or
Yeah,
whatever, and then as soon as it gets a
Teflon
scratch on it,
coating.
it starts coming off. Yeah, that's why you gotta only use stainless steel. I
Right.
only use stainless steel or cast iron.
Cast iron, that's the best, they said. And then you got like your shampoos or your food, the processed food, like it's everywhere, man. Even if you're spraying your lawn, why would you want to spray your lawn to get rid of bugs that make the soil rich? Like
But
I
again,
never
this is like
understood that.
it's like a nocebo effect, right? Placebo effect and a nocebo effect. No one really talks about the nocebo effect. We all know what placebo is, but nocebo, it's like let's say like a doctor or somebody tells you, oh, they're telling you, oh, the shit in the air is killing you. Oh, this is fucking you. Oh, that, the other. That'll actually have more of an effect if you subconsciously believe it. It'll actually manifest these things. So at the same time, you have
Yeah,
to.
like a they could tell a woman they pregnant and a woman not pregnant, but she believe it and start showing and everything. Her period stop, her stomach get big, and she don't
Mhm.
even got a baby in there.
Yeah, so
What?
no
Yeah,
weapon formed against you shall prosper, right? You got to have that ingrained into your subconscious. And also, what I do is before I eat anything or put anything into my body, I do a mental transmutation on it. Where I
Do you
look,
speak into the water and stuff, Cage?
and I don't really speak anything. It's all within my mind. So I just visualize. Like I even tested it with plants, and it works like crazy. Like so, yeah. And every time I eat something, so like I visualize like the structure of it being completed, and being like,
I gotta start that myself.
and then I consume
I
that.
need to write it out. When I wake up to remind myself, I gotta have like 5 things listed to remind me so I could start repetition, you know, and then instill it into my daily habits.
Yeah, it's
Sort of
like an
like
automatic.
brainwashing.
It becomes automatic after it, bro. You don't even. It's not even like a big deal. You just boom, automatically done.
In my line of work, we have to repeat ourselves over and over and over and over again. So, what did he say? To catapult the propaganda, right? Or no, he said, Bush said, in my line of work, we got to repeat ourselves over and over and over again until the truth sets in. Or some shit. I have it.
Yeah, I've heard Muslims say that. Akamos is saying Muslims do that too. They say Bismillah before drinking or eating every time. Yeah, I've heard people say that. Mm.
Even now, I understand prayers before you eat. It makes sense now. You're speaking over the food and the drink, and But I don't know. When you say God, that could be so much. Like the word ball. I explained before. When you say the word ball, you're conjuring up ball, right? It don't matter if you say basketball, it still sounds the same. The spelling's different, but the sound isn't. Are we kind of setting ourselves up? How true do you think this witchcraft is with the spelling of words and all that? You
Oh,
think
bro.
it really affects?
Yeah, bro. It's all done very purposefully. You know what I mean? That numbers don't lie guy goes really deep into the Bilal kind of thing. Word tumbling and ciphering.
It
That's
makes
all it is.
sense because they're kind of like setting us up for it because they know, like if you tell someone, I was talking to some woman about good morning, And she goes, yeah, but they're spelled different. And I was like, yeah, but that don't matter.
They're
I said, it
pronounced the same
sounds the
way.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the spelling don't matter. And she's like, oh, I never thought of it like that.
Or look at pray and pray, right? Pray as in praying to something, or pray as being prayed upon, like a pray, right? With an E or an A. There's so many ones like that.
The English language, it's definitely some sort of
It's a spell. It's called spelling
yeah.
for a reason. You know, they have spelling bees and all that. Well, you
Thanks
read
for
about that
coming up, Drop.
Yeah, what happened to Drop? I guess he dropped off. Or maybe got a call or something.
He dropped off.
But yeah, I know a lot about Masonry. You brought up Masonry before. I kind of infiltrated them a little bit.
What do you mean, Masonry as far as the philosophical, the esoteric, or actual Masonry?
Both. I used to do stone masonry, and then the esoteric kind of stuff, or the fraternity.
I've done a lot of hands-on framing, like carpentry.
Yeah.
I want to do dressers, that type of carpentry, like
Yeah.
they say
Yeah.
Jesus was a carpenter. I heard on a video today or this morning, this lady said these people that occupy the earth been here 250 million years, and they said they created Jesus wasn't an all around human. They created Jesus to teach the Homo sapiens love and this and that, so they wouldn't be so violent and kill all the time and all this nonsense.
Yeah,
Like,
Jesus just repackaged like this idea, which is heliocentric ideology, right?
yep,
Sun based and planetary based worship. It's just repackaged. You know what I mean? The same idea has always been around. They just change it up for
they
the
just a little bit.
yeah. Just
It's like
repackage it. Yeah.
it's like a different salesman. You know, they change their whole game they're gonna pitch to you.
Well, it's the same. It's the same product, different packaging. You know what I mean? Just change up the packaging.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. Yeah,
Yeah, this shit gets deep.
and it just gets me a little. It used to get me actually. I'm trying my best to not things that I can't control. I'm trying not to let it bother me no more. Like, it's not that I don't care. It's just not good for your own stability. You know, because all in
You
all,
know? Yeah, it's like that nocebo effect. If you think everything's out to fuck you up and you're getting like poisoned by everything, you even if you're not, you will be. You know, or you could do the opposite of that. You could use the placebo effect, where no weapon will form against you, and then none of it's affecting you. Like how I look at it is like, okay, yeah, good try. You can keep trying. It's not gonna do shit to me either way. You know.
like you try to talk to people, but it's part of the programming where people don't realize it's created so you'll defend it too. You're defending the lie and don't even realize it. It's like
Vehemently defending the lie. Right? It's like in the
tell someone
Matrix.
Jesus ain't real, they'll have a mental breakdown.
Yeah, well, the idea is definitely real. What makes someone real? The idea of it and the belief behind it. Right? Enough people believe in someone, it becomes real because it becomes a thought form. Right?
Yeah, I think Jesus is just that how they explained in the spine. Um, you know, I've noticed with the Bible, a lot of the so-called lessons in the Bible or stories that are told happens in real life all the time, and it's sad how, because I used to be one of them. I used to wish revelations would come and just end all this, but then I realized how selfish that is. What about the innocent women, or even the children that are gonna die? And the Bible, we gotta reap what these other people, so we got to pay the price because other people fucked up. I don't like that whole
Well, I think that
concept.
idea is it's predictive programming, right? You get enough people believing in that, and then thoughts become words, words
Yeah, they'll
become
play it
actions.
out.
Yeah, thoughts become words, words become actions, actions become reality, and then
'Cause
the
I thought, how
program.
many times have they regurgitated like through generations? And 'cause I remember them saying it was the end times when in the or was it the late '80s when so many times like all these different incidents that happened. Uh,
2012, 2000, remember Y2K, all these different ones.
yeah. I thought the power was gonna go out. It was like 2, 1, and nothing happened. Not even a blink of the power. I said, we got
people thought
played.
people thought the fucking nukes were gonna go off and shit. You remember? Oh
Man.
man.
And then right after that was the September event in NYC, a little bit after, a year or two later. And then people were like, oh, this is the end times. 24 years later, another thing starts. It's the end times. It's like, dude, shut up.
I know, fuck off, man. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's always the end times
Right.
in people's
Every
minds.
day's the beginning and the end because every day something new begins and something dies. So I don't. If the end comes, who gives a fuck? Because you won't even know if it happened. If everyone was to die, it would just happen quick. Boom, you'd be gone, taking a nap.
Yeah,
That's all
exactly.
it's like. Tell you the truth, when I died and shit for that small seconds or whatever, I didn't even know I was gone. Tell you the truth, it was like it was like
What
you went to
happened?
sleep and you were in dreamland. I was aware, but it's hard to
What happened to
explain,
you?
man. It's just I was in a car accident,
Ah, fuck.
and I was young, and I was drinking and driving, racing around the reservoir, and I blacked out and hit a tree. I was doing like fucking 60 miles an hour, had no seatbelt on, and I wish I still had my friend still had the picture because it was his car I was driving.
And you were
I'm not
fucked
gonna
up.
say the whole story, even though it can't incriminate no one, so I won't say names. But yeah, my friend was stealing a car. He was ahead of me in a stolen car, and I was behind driving his car like an idiot. He had just came home a little bit, and he had went to prison for 3 years. He had just came home, and what was he in there for? Stealing mad cars. And
This guy don't learn, does he?
yo, I
Guy doesn't
I
learn.
sat there. It was so I didn't believe him that he could do it in 20 seconds. I shit you not, it's probably quicker than that. All I heard was pop, pop. Vroom. I was like, damn, this guy's good. It was a Buick. Did it too. Fucking, we were racing around this reservoir, and I blacked out. And I hit the tree, rolled it over. And if I showed you the pictures, you'd be like, how'd you live? The driver's side was, the roof was like caved down as I rolled it. It's hard to explain, man, but
Wasn't your time, bro.
definitely not. He pulled me out of the window, and I remember trying to run, and I couldn't because my knees, my legs were all
Did your
like,
friend come back and help you, or did he take off since he was in a
no,
storm?
he pulled over and came back. He thought I was dead, he said, which
Okay,
I
well,
was.
at least he's not that bad of a friend. Then if he if he came back and checked on you.
Yeah.
Some people have been like, "Fuck this! I'm not trying to go back to jail," and they would have left. Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that, and I'm like, I could have cost him his freedom, just making stupid decisions. But
Nah, it's his own
yeah, he
fault.
came back,
It's his own
got
fault.
me. It's my fault for even driving. But
That's like some instant karma shit. Man steals the car, just got out, and then his car gets destroyed.
right, that's crazy. I never looked at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm mad. I had to pay the price for his fucking. I paid the repercussions. No, I'm joking.
Nah, you can. You're the one who got involved with it, bro. You're helping them steal the
Fucking
car, technically.
crazy times.
It's all
Forgetting
good.
your keys in the car. Yeah. Try to open today's cars with a coat hanger or something. It's all digital, right? You can't just pull up the thing or, you know.
Oh, it was hilarious. You know what the cops have been telling people? This shit went viral over here. Because what they do is they copy your. Well, sometimes they'll copy your key fob with like this machine thing. You know, the signal, and then that's how they
Where
steal
are
them.
you, Cage? In Canada?
I'm in Toronto, yeah. So the cops over here, they're like, you know what they told them? You know what they told the public? They're just like, you leave your key fob at the front of your door. Because people,
What?
yeah, they're just like, leave it in front of your door because these people, they just want to steal your car. So the cops are just like, you might as well leave them milk and cookies and shit, too. Give them some snacks, you know? Let them steal your shit. Oh, man. Some stupidity. Yeah, it's some real stupidity, bro.
I was, oh, it stopped the echoes. Good.
I didn't hear an echo.
That's why I backed out. Because it was echoing. But I fixed it.
They're listening to the conversation, bro.
Right? I remember that in the old phones, people used to tell me.
When it echoes, yeah, you're tapped.
Yeah, the echoes hang up. Yeah. Yep. Those are the old days when the cops would have to tap your line. They would have to go to the pole right in front of your house.
Now they have some shit. It's like something I think Israel developed. It's called Pegasus.
I've read about that. I forgot. If you start talking about it, I'll remember. I read about Pegasus. Yep. I did a video on that.
Yeah, so all they need is a phone number, and then they have access to everything.
Yep. Yep.
It's a no-click exploit. You don't need to click anything. You don't anything.
Or I was just about to say that. Yep. They could send you something. You don't even need to click it. Boom. They're in. Like you said, all they need is the phone number, and you're done. And come on, that's easy to get for them. You know. I'm sure they could buy the phone numbers off the fucking phone company. So.
Yeah, for real.
And even then, like, I tell people, you don't think the person or the patent for these cell phones, they didn't think ahead that, well, we should make it so we can get into every cell phone and listen to everything or have some backup server or
It's
something.
a back door. Yeah, it's called a back door. Of course, they have the back door, bro. You know?
Yeah. Like, even they say, iPhones, you can't break. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You can't break into them. Dude, if they can hack a car and drive it, come on. Anything digital is hackable. And that's why another reason digital money is going to be a disaster. Well, not for the slaves who like fully want to.
You can make it difficult, right? Like you can make it difficult through Tor, through VPNs, through Tor, through different tails and
Right.
shit, different things. But trust me, if they want you, nothing online it's ever deleted and everything's accessible. If they really
Right.
wanted to get you. You know?
That's another thing. You said it, Cage. Nothing is deleted for real. You might think you deleted it, but even if you delete it on your phone, they could somehow, unless, the only way you could get it out of your phone is if you do that, where you not restart your phone, but you factory reset. It'll clean it out.
No, even then the memory's still stored in there in some part of the chip. You gotta throw that bitch in the fire. Burn the fucking
Yeah, like in the movies when they throw it down and step on it, I'd be like, that ain't enough. They could still get the information out of that. You gotta break it in half and like you said, burn it is the best bet to melt that
burn it.
motherboard.
And melt the whole thing.
Tech is bad. Like privacy, even since the Patriot Act, privacy has been gone. And I think cameras are way older than that. I think if there's been resets, these people probably just go underground and just
In the bunker.
watch what's going on above. Watch people just annihilate themselves. I think they've done that before.
Most likely. They have a bunch of
Wait,
underground cities and shit they found there. I know there's a giant one in Turkey, which is like huge.
dude, they say they're in the U.S. I gotta find somebody that's down to travel and find these tunnels. I'm gonna find an entrance to underground.
I'm pretty sure they've been building them in my city here, because no one's been talking about it. But it's like for the past few years, longer than that, there's all this construction where they'll shut down a residential street and then they're digging. They're digging like super deep, and they have these giant like silo things, it's like circular giant like thick concrete things, like big enough like to connect for like a room or something. It's weird. All around the city. And if you ask them what they're doing, they're like, they don't even tell you. They're like, it's weird.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all the major cities have connections to the underground trains. Like, especially capital cities. That's what I want to say. At least I think every capital city is tied in to these like look at the East Coast from Hartford to New York City, New Jersey, then it goes down to all these major cities is like on one ley line, all the way down to Florida to Miami. It's all like a straight line. It's crazy. Perfect place to put a train line.
Yeah, where I'm at, you can get to New York in like technically like an hour. Upstate, well, Buffalo, New York. It's close, though. By Niagara Falls. Well, maybe not an hour. If you take the express route, you can get there like an hour and a half. Alchemist is saying Pegasus is a spyware developed by the Israeli cyber arms company NSO Group that is designed to be covertly remotely installed on mobile phones running iOS and Android.
My bad. Peace, Skylark. Mind's Eye. People should check Mind's Eye's channel. Drop your link, Mind's Eye. For all the new people. Mind's Eye puts a lot of good content out. Like videos and
Oh, yeah.
Mind's Eye got to start going live. Stop fronting. I call Mind's Eye, aka the Word Wizard. There's another name. The King of Wordsmithing.
Wordsmithing?
Yeah.
There's another
he's like,
word wizard, too. There's another guy with name that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind's Eye is like a 33rd degree wordsmither.
I am.
That's what I would tell a Mason. You're 33 degrees, but still frozen. I'm 360 degrees with a mind that's open. Yours is closed.
I've talked to the leader of of the Masons in this. It would be. It's called a province, but it's like this state. I've talked to him before. And he's like, "Oh, why are you interested in Masonry?" Because I'm like, I want the esoteric truth, you know. And he literally told me straight up. He's like, "Yeah, you're not gonna find that here." And I'm not even lying about it.
The lodge gives you just little pieces of knowledge, you know, alleged knowledge. It's a business. A lodge, you got to pay dues. They're about money, and
Yeah,
the
it's about
higher
money.
you go, the more money you're paying.
Well, I look at it. I look at it kind of like a shell company, like a shell company. So like the Blue Lodge, which is like the first 3 degrees, that's the actual masonry. Then you go into the concordant body, which you can go into like the Knights Templar, or you can go to the Scottish Rite, where you get the 33rd degree. And then when you get to the highest level of that, I think that's when you actually start getting involved in the real shit, which is invitation only. It's not called masonry. I think all that is a filtering process. And most of the people are used, like you said, just to fund for money, just to fund their operation and that. But you know, there's some shit there's like an outer order and an inner order.
The Pope, to me, wears the triple crown. The Pope is like the boss of all bosses. You know, and there's more than one Pope. Maybe the Pope that we see is just used like a puppet for the mass media, right? But the real Pope in charge, the triple crown wearer, man, it's in so many pictures. Look it up. I think the triple crown is one crown's for the religion, one crown's for the military, and the other crown is for schools or government, or I don't know, but yeah, they wear the triple crown. And I don't think it's the Trinity. It's the Pope. The Catholic Church got assassins and all that. People could say it's a conspiracy, but look, the Catholic Church does more illegal stuff than the black market pharmacy down the street.
Oh, for real. Bro, over here, they've been finding like thousands of little children's bodies buried under the fucking churches here of the indigenous native people.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What kind
heard
of?
about a gray pope and the black pope. We're gonna look into that, as a matter of fact. Let's look into this black pope. What do you know about that, Cage? The black.
Well, I haven't done too much research on it, but yeah, apparently they have that trinity of popes, right? Of every shade, where you know you got one that's right hand path, one that's left hand path, and then the middle path.
Then you got your cardinals who wear red. They're like, red means like war and shit. The cardinals are like the pawns and shit.
Remember that bubble burst shit we were watching yesterday?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a good video.
yeah, the guy was saying that that pretty much that all this stuff goes back to the British monarchy, monarchy. You know what I'm talking about, and then to the Vatican City. They're the ones collecting all the the taxes off everybody. Apparently, they're getting their kickback.
It says the child sacrifice of Jesus Christ to Moloch and the Black Pope. Interesting. Interesting, 'cause I never heard of that crap. Hola.
I could play some shit about Moloch. That gets deep.
It says Antichrist.
It ties back to why all these children are missing. How there's like fucking 500,000 children missing every year in the U.S.
Dude, we need to hold these people accountable. Giuseppe Porta, I think that's how you say this guy. Oh no, wait, his name's longer than that. I'll put it in the chat. Maybe y'all could pronounce this Italiano name. Salviati.
What are we talking about?
This Pope.
Oh.
Hold on. I put the name in the chat. It says there. It's a painting with that guy's name. It says which stood out for me at the whatever that is. Basilica di Santa Maria Gloriosa dei Frari, whatever that means, in the Doge's Palace in Venice.
Giuseppe Portadetto Salviati.
Moloch is also the main character of Allen Ginsberg's Howl. What the hell does that have to do with this? What sphinx of cement and aluminum bashed open their skulls and ate up their brains and imagination? It says Moloch Moloch, solitude, filth, ugliness. It says ash cans and unobtainable dollars. What the hell are these people talking about here? It's supposed to talk about the Black Pope and Jesus. It says Moloch. I don't want to say that. He ain't entering me. Why would someone say that? Anyway, I'll say it. Moloch, who entered somebody's soul. I never heard of this story. Jesus was sacrificed to Moloch. Damn, it's doing that fucking thing again, the interference. You got YouTube open?
No. Hold on. Let me. Is it gone?
Yeah.
It's because I opened a new tab, I think. Like, I was. Hold on, my bad.
I know if you put it in your microphones and shit like that, it'll, like if you, even if you're just near it. Like who? I don't know. I don't get people, man. If they really sacrificing children. Other symbols which stand out. Lightning bolts appear behind Moloch and the Pope. Wait a minute. Moloch? Oh, the Pope figure. Oh, here's the real picture I want. Okay, so it's not. I thought it was an actual black man for the Pope. It's a Pope that wears the black. Okay.
Yeah, like black magic, green magic, and fucking white magic.
Yeah, obviously, because if there's a gray Pope, the guy ain't gray.
It's like the negative aspect, positive aspect, and neutral aspect. You know? It has nothing to do with the skin color. Are you on your computer or no?
No. See, this is the Triple Crown that the Polito wears. Why is it playing games with me, man? I already downloaded a picture. So this is the picture, I guess, of them sacrificing Jesus to Moloch. Right here.
That's fucked. I'm gonna put something up after. It's about the cult of Moloch and how these elitist people running the show are all involved in it.
This is the Triple Crown.
Man looks like a fucking wizard and shit. Look at him.
They're definitely warlocks and wizards and witches and who's seen that video of the Pope and he disappears after he turns around. I wonder how real that is. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they use that type of tech, you know, because none of these leaders in this world are loved. And for the most part, if they are loved, to me, like in North Korea, you can't say nothing bad about King Jong Bing Dong Wing because, you know, that's just the law. You
Right, you know what
can't.
they'll do? You know what they'll do over there? They go to randomly inspect people's houses, and if there's any dust on everyone has to have a giant picture of them in their living room.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
If there's dust on there, you get cursed for 3 generations. I mean, not only you're going to jail forever, anyone, your whole fucking lineage is going to jail for 3 generations.
I heard something about that. I wonder how true.
Who knows?
People of color in European art. The unknown black virgin of... Yeah, about time, man. Let me download this picture, man. This is the first time I've ever seen a painting with black people in it and white people. Now, this is what the Bible should have looked like. Bunch of different people. Not just white people. I instantly questioned that when I was younger. I said, Mom, where's all the... where's everyone else?
Oh, they're just
My mom
depicting
was
that.
like...
Yeah, it's because it's a cultural thing. They're just trying to depict it for whoever they're trying to feed the nonsense to. Oh, it is.
Let's see. The Black Pope. There's like barely anything on this fucking guy. The Young Pope recap. Nobody cares. It says Africans have contributed much to growth of Christianity. So many labels.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the shit about Moloch and the elite human trafficking. Kind of ties into what we were bringing up earlier.
There are some who believe that the modern world continues to evolve morally. While this might be true about the general public, unfortunately, it seems not to be true when it pertains to those in power. One of the most bitterly debated subjects in classical archaeology is whether or not the Carthaginians, an ancient civilization in North Africa, killed their children for their gods. Evidence for the worship of Moloch is found in the Old Testament, with variant names Molech, Melech, and Baal, meaning Lord, and also the Phoenician theonym for Moloch is MLK. If the classical reports are accurate, Moloch represents a deity or symbology associated with child sacrifice and is fervently despised in the Old Testament. Other than claims from Alex Jones during his escapades with Bohemian Grove, no archaeological or historical evidence states Moloch or any of his variant names resemble an owl. Rabbinical tradition depicted Moloch as a bronze statue with the head of a bull and a large human body where victims were thrown into fire. The Canaanite deity has also been drawn and referred to as Kronos due to the parallel theme of the Titan god devouring his children.
They're saying Moloch is fucking Saturn. Kronos is related to Saturn.
I didn't know that. Kronos and Saturn. I mean, yeah, I knew about Kronos and Saturn. I thought you said Moloch and Saturn.
Yeah,
I
now
mean,
he's saying
Kronos.
Moloch is also depicted as Kronos. So Moloch, Saturn, and Kronos is all the same being. And Baal, or Baal, or whatever.
Because when you say, I think Saturn or Kronos is biting the baby because when you're born, the time starts to kill you, man. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
I
a
think that's
consumer.
time's
Yeah.
eating you up. Yeah, it's consuming you, right?
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. It's related to time, right? Yeah.
The ritualistic intimations of Baal and Moloch have existed for thousands of years, with modern reimaginings depicting the idol as a machine. Other controversial interpretations can be found in the origins of Freemasonry, as revealed in the Royal Arch Degree in the Rituals of Exaltation. The name of the great architect of the universe is a trinity of words: Ja-Bulan, translating to Yahweh, Baal, and Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of fertility, resurrection, and the underworld. In Tunisia, just outside Jerusalem, children were said to have been sacrificed to Baal by being, quote, passed through fire in an area called a Tophet.
Yeah, you want to freak out a... Oh, you dropped him. Yeah, Charles, you want to freak out a fucking Mason? Tell him Jabulan. Tell him Jabulan will look at you and they'll just fucking leave.
Yahweh, Baal, and Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of fertility, resurrection, and the underworld. In Tunisia, just outside Jerusalem, children were said to have been sacrificed to Baal by being, quote, passed through fire in an area called a Tophet. According to Rashi, the single most influential commentator of the Middle Ages, the massive statue of, quote, Molech, which was of copper, and they would heat it up from underneath with its hands spread out, and they would place the child on his hands, and he would be burnt and mown, and the priests would beat drums so the father should not hear his son's voice and take pity, end quote. It's pertinent to understand the Hebrew Bible referred to Moloch worship as Canaanite idolatry, straying away from Judaism. The quotes from Leviticus are clear. But the religion of Carthage in North Africa managed to continue the Canaanite ritual. With several modifications, they birthed what the Jewish virtual library called the Cult of Moloch, creating the largest Tophet ever discovered, covering almost 4 miles with 9 descending levels. Rabbinical tradition stated, quote, the body of Moloch was hollow, divided into 7 compartments. In one, which they put flour. In the 2nd through 6th, they put animals. And in the 7th, a child, which were all burned together by heating the statue inside. Initially, scholars interpreted these claims as exaggerated fictions, stemming from Greek and Roman propaganda, who publicly shamed these cults as barbaric. But in 1923, French-led excavations at Carthage found some 20,000 burials containing cremated infant and animal bones kept in urns, inscribed with dedications to Baal and the Phoenician theonym for Moloch. They discovered long genealogical pedigrees signifying noble families, with one lineage stretching back 16 generations, suggesting the ritual was, quote, an elite practice.
Yeah, and you see all these... see, this is probably where a lot of these missing children end up. And they probably had breeding farms, too. Which they did. You ever heard of this guy named John of God? It's like Oprah's friend and that, friends with all these like high level celebrities and politicians here.
I think so.
Yeah, man, it was literally like he had like a breeding farm for children and shit, and they're sacrificing them, doing all types of shit. This guy would like have like groups of people, and he would do like man would do like surgeries on them with no anesthetics or anything. He was like hypnotizing people to the point where they would feel no pain. You know, they literally cut them open and shit without them being under anesthetics, awake, and they wouldn't feel anything. It's a weird motherfucker, I'm telling you. Yeah, this shit happens. Like, I don't, you know, these people. This guy gets deep into the subject. This elite human trafficking shit, and I think it's for these magical purposes, or you know, for these like rituals or something.
Yeah, those people are. I think it might be the children's blood or something, or maybe their energy. But either way, there's something wrong with them.
He's gonna get into it. It's yeah, they're doing some sort of magic, bro. If you want to call it that, sexual magic.
The University of Oxford published a study of the findings, concluding the Greek and Roman accounts were true, and not, as modern scholars believed, propaganda. They also reaffirmed previous analyses that because the ritual was so expensive, only the wealthiest and most powerful in Carthage could have practiced it. The cult of Moloch was real, an unspeakable evil carried out by wealthy humans while their society was flourishing. An author of the study said, quote, "We should not imagine that ancient people thought like us and were horrified by the same things. But remember, the Greeks and the Romans were just as appalled then as we are now. Even many animals have an unquenchable desire for the safety of their offspring." Something curious happened to the rulers of Carthage long ago. What was it? And with the cult of Moloch substantiated, it would seem that anyone knowledgeable of its horror would react with abhorrence and disgust. And with most of the world having no idea about this, why then, or how then, does Hillary Clinton know about Moloch? In previous volumes, I outlined the strangely deviant website created by the current VP of Pew Charitable Trust, Tamara Luzzatto, outlining her odd, sexual, borderline torturous rhetorical proclivities aimed toward her grandchildren. The names of Tamara's grandchildren are Ruby, Emerson, and Meve Luzzatto. In this leaked email between Tamara and John Podesta, Tamara refers to a get-together at a farm, where she refers to a heated pool. She continues, saying, quote, "Ruby, Emerson, and Meve Luzzatto, 11, 9, and almost 7. So you'll have some further entertainment, and they will be in that pool for sure." But there's more to this story than initially perceived, much more. In 2008, the website Mama's Midwives published a home birth story written by the biological mom of these children, Alexandra Tidings Luzzatto. In the story, she mentions Ruby and Emerson, then says, quote, "And with the next contraction, Meve Chaim Luzzatto arrived." This name is the female iteration of Moshe, or Moses Chaim Luzzatto, a messianic cult leader who promoted black magic in the 18th century. Critics might argue that this comparison is arbitrary and point to other notable uses of the Luzzatto name. But among all documented uses, only one has Chaim as its middle name. Additionally, the name Meve is both a historical and pop-modern female variant for...
I'll wait for Charles to get back here. I don't know what happened to him. You're back. You dropped out again. I paused it because I wasn't sure if you were able to see it.
Yeah, my bad. I got 2 pages open and I hit back and it kicked me out. I was on the wrong. I got like split screen on my phone.
Yeah, they went hard. Akron was saying, Alcom was saying, great video pulled up. Yeah, this guy got completely, I think he got killed, to be honest with you. This guy started naming names and shit and getting real deep into it. And like, you know, like last time, like he hasn't posted for a very long time. And then they're really going after this guy. And they canceled all his bank accounts, all his shit. Fucking, was really fucking with him. And the last thing he did was he put up a post saying like, oh, he has to destroy all his computers and shit. He thinks he's gonna get framed or some shit's gonna happen to him. And then like no one heard from him ever again. So hopefully the man's doing all right.
This name is the female iteration of Moshe, or Moses Chaim Luzzatto, a messianic cult leader who promoted black magic in the 18th century. Critics might argue that this comparison is arbitrary and point to other notable uses of the Luzzatto name. But among all documented uses, only one has Chaim as its middle name. Additionally, the name Meve is both a historical and pop-modern female variant for Moses. Either Alexandra named her child after an occult messiah by accident, or these families understand the significance of their names and their lineage. Consider she's also part of the Tidings family, a powerful genealogy of U.S. Democratic politicians dating back to the 18th century. In the award-winning book, The Pursuit of Heresy, author Hofen states, quote, shortly after receiving a Magidic confirmation of his unique mission, Luzzatto joined a secret circle where he would communicate with apparitions called Magids that prophesized events and offered a visionary hidden knowledge, but his ceremonies were small and were covened only between a secret cult that summoned the dead. Alexandra Tidings also comes from a line of Crowleys. Her sister, Paige Crowley, named after her mother's longtime partner Arthur Crowley, whose father was the first Crowley. Some might claim that any comparison to the English occultist Aleister Crowley, based solely on similar last names, would be a reach. However, the fact that Alexandra named her daughter after Moshe Chaim Luzzatto points to an awareness and preoccupation with genealogy that extends also to her elders. Additionally, Aleister Crowley's original name was Alexander Crowley, the male iteration of Alexandra. The idea this was a fluke made by powerful pedigrees is absurd. The associations couldn't be more obvious, unless of course there's evidence that people in this family have been publicly associated with the occult.
I love starting a new scroll. The feel of it in your hands, the look, so clean, so perfectly empty.
It's important to understand that not all interpretations of the occult are inherently sinister. Many of us might enjoy horoscopes or getting our palms read. One mustn't devolve into the fundamentalists who went nuts over Harry Potter, right? But just as Islamic apologists obfuscate the brutality in the Quran, so too do followers of Aleister Crowley. In his book, Magic in Theory and Practice, he states, a male child of perfect innocence and high intelligence is the most satisfactory and suitable victim. The bloody sacrifice, though more dangerous, is more efficacious, and for nearly all purposes, human sacrifice is the best. Referring to himself as the Beast 666, Crowley was an individualist, arch-Satanist who created the cult of Thelema, the Grand Lodge Ordo Templi Orientis, or OTO, and a ritual called sex magic, which includes drinking mixtures of semen and blood.
Man, those people
Even
lost
after
their
his death,
mind.
through his famously shallow and insidious libertine ethic, do what thou wilt, he's continued to gain followers all over the world, some well-meaning, others not. For several decades, the Kidley sex cult led by Colin Batley psychologically terrorized and raped vulnerable children. After being jailed in 2011, investigators found that each follower had a laminated version of Aleister Crowley's Book of the Law. One girl testified that she was taken to other homes and forced to have sex with strangers at, quote, satanic orgies. And the leader had Rottweiler dogs that were vicious to everyone. It's apparent that many followers of Crowley mirror the countless Muslim scholars who obfuscate their prophet's well-documented pedophilia. For example, this verse from Aleister's diary was so disturbing, even a Thelemite asked a forum of followers if Aleister really did this to his baby. Quote, "Her breasts itch with lust of incest. She hath given her 2-year bastard boy to her lewd lover's whim of sodomy. She hath tongued her 5-month girl and asked its father to deflower it. Thin shrieks of a young child that her beast god slave mate is torturing for her pleasure." End quote. Some said it was probably poetic hyperbole, or a drug-induced stupor, or saw no problem at all. Others said, quote, "The whole topic of pedophilia is central for coming to full understanding."
I don't think people do drugs and start talking like that, bro. What the fuck? You can blame the drug on that. The guy's sick in his head. I mean, his final words, I forget his final words. It was hilarious. His final words, he's like, he knew he fucked up.
The eon of the child, end quote. Another said Crowley was tame compared to TV shows like Family Guy, and that Aleister may have had pedophile tendencies, but he wasn't a real pedophile. A real true pedophile is simply a lover of youth. Philia is a word meaning love, like agape or thelema. There are many others who excuse pederasty, so I'll end it with another Thelemite who said, quote, "You could argue, I'm sure, that a person who finds themselves in love with a child has the right to follow up his or her urges with action, so long as the kid was also up for it."
If the kid was up for it, then it's alright. That's insane, bro.
Bro, these are the people that run the show. They're all involved in this weird shit, bro. I'm telling you.
After Crowley died, George King published The Secret Rituals of the OTO. This infuriated their new leader, Grady McMurtry, who conceded the book was, quote, "accurate enough to be used for initiations." The most significant secret revealed was a word being used during Thelema's rituals, a word that forever tethered their cult to the contentious origins of Freemasonry. Jabulan.
Yeah, if you ever see a Mason or one of these motherfuckers, just say Jabulan to them. You'll trip them the fuck out. Fuck Jabulan.
It's important to note that the majority of Freemasons are good people, separate from the alleged malevolence of those at the top who both know and keep the secrets which established the need for the society in the first place. And it's those men who built this country, installing their own people into the most prominent positions of power and influence, so as to maintain their status and control that arguably control the world. If you doubt this, allow me to rebuke with 2 questions. How do you make sure your influence and power are represented across an entire people? In other words, how do you control a country? You build one. While none of this is evidence that Tamara Luzzatto is necessarily sinister, it certainly hints to a specific pattern of belief so often found among the most powerful in our society. One can confidently say that members of the Luzzatto and Tidings family knowingly named their children after 2 infamous cult leaders, one of whom has amassed a following of, on one hand, decent people who are merely interested in Crowley's aesthetic and counterculture variants, and on the other, pedophile apologists and sexual deviants. Which side the Luzzatto family is on, I leave up to you. Either way, Tamara Luzzatto is one of the most powerful women in the world, having worked as the primary advisor for Senator John D. Rockefeller's National Commission on Children, then as chief of staff for Hillary Clinton, per the recommendation of John Podesta, and is currently the senior vice president for the Pew Charitable Trust. She's someone you don't want to fuck with. Even the articles written about her by so-called reputable publications compare her and her husband to Francis and Claire Underwood from House of Cards. So while I wouldn't suggest poking the bear, I will continue to. See you next time.
Yeah, Bunny started poking the bear too much, I think. Cause I don't know what happened to him, man. What are you saying, Naga? What are your thoughts on that, Charles, bro? Let's call it the Moloch.
I think it happens. Most likely in the Catholic Church. I gotta end this in like 10 minutes. I gotta go do a few things, but
Alright, bro. There's a proper bill.
what's the name of this guy's channel?
I'll send you the link.
Alright.
It's he's not on YouTube. You can find him on here though.
That other guy, we were watching the videos that day. The other guy, he has a good channel. I like that channel.
Yeah, Hidden America.
There are some who believe that.
Let me put that in the private feed.
Plata o Plomo.
Silver or lead. As the cartel on that would tell you people that you want silver, you want lead.
He made sure to say in the video, not all Masons are evil.
Well, it's like anyone else. Some of them are probably unaware of what's going on. You know? So they're saying all type of any type of people are evil. Most of them are probably unaware, probably have no idea what's going on. Yeah. I got kicked out again.
Yeah, I don't know if they're booting me out or if I did that by an accident, but either way. How long is this video?
4 minutes and 44 seconds. I figure we'll close it with this.
Alright.
I've never seen this. What's that channel you said you liked? The other one? The Psychedelic Origins of Christianity. Look, they have a fucking mushroom Bible.
The secret history of magic mushrooms in Christianity. Now, the use of sacred mushrooms in shamanic practices is as old as time itself. It has been argued that sacred mushrooms are at the root of many religions, including early Christianity. In many cultures, magic mushrooms were seen as a gateway to the divine. It has been argued that early religions were based on fertility rites, rituals that were recreated the reproductive processes of nature, either symbolically or through sex. In Egypt, there was the nature mysteries of Isis. In Greece, it was the cult of Demeter or the cult of Cybele. In Rome, it was the cult of Mithras. It is believed that fertility in nature cults used hallucinogenic mushrooms to connect with the source or the absolute. In Terence McKenna's In Food of the Gods, he claims that the fruit which Adam and Eve ate from the Garden of Eden was a symbol for a psychedelic mushroom, since it gave them gnosis or knowledge. And I know, sound crazy? Maybe, but maybe not. Early Christian art suggests that this may actually be the case.
That's interesting. Look, Alchemo Buddy in the comments is saying, I'm working on part 4 of my series on the mushroom realm wide. It's the Holy Grail. That's a proper synchronicity. There you go, bro.
In The Sacred Mushroom in the Cross, John Marco Allegro argues that these fertility rites and sacred mushrooms are actually the origin of the New Testament. He argued the Bible was a literary device to spread the rites of mushroom worship to the unknowing faithful. Jesus and the Gospel was a code for the Amanita mushroom. Now, published in 1970, all major scholars rejected Allegro's ideas and work, including his academic mentor. Even his publisher regretted publishing the book. So is this idea radical? I mean, that's fair to say, but is this idea new? Not at all. It's as ancient as time itself. In Book 9 of the Hindu text, the Rig Veda, a pressed juice called soma is mentioned as something drunk by priests in some sort of visionary state is reported and induced. In the text it states, "It makes me immortal in that realm where happiness and transports, where joys and felicities combines and wishes are fulfilled." Now, some, including Terence McKenna, say that soma could have been a psychedelic mushroom. Sacred mushrooms also feature in the Aztec text as well. In the Codex Vinabonaci, for example, visually depicts the ceremonial use of psychedelic mushrooms. The Aztecs called these mushrooms teonacales, which literally means flesh of the gods. Native American cultures, like the Aztecs and the Mayans, had symbols, statues, and paintings which indicated that they consumed psilocybin mushrooms, especially during religious rituals, as a way to communicate with deities and higher intelligences. Now, is it a leap to say that these examples of mushrooms depicted in Christian art necessarily mean that the religion is based on the consumption of psychedelic mushrooms? Is it possible that magic mushrooms
Yeah,
were a
it
key
is.
factor in the birth?
Mm-hmm.
I never knew Christians took the mushrooms, but hey, you know, I can't wait to take my next spiritual journey. I haven't done one since I was 18, but it's due.
I do it every few years. The way I do it is I go alone in the forest and make a fire at nighttime, and I'm up feeding the fire until the morning. And when it's dark, I walk.
It's hard here in
And
Connecticut.
when it's light.
I got to go out to near the farms and shit.
Over here, that shit's like it's pretty much legal over here. They have like mushroom dispensaries and shit, just like beside businesses and.
Yeah, they got candy bars and shit out here, but people sell them, but I don't trust them. I want the real deal Holyfield.
I'd recommend. Well, I wouldn't recommend that, but let's say theoretically, you can grow them. It's easy to grow them. Very easy to grow them. You can get grow kits. Pretty much over here, it's illegal to grow mushrooms. You just can't. It becomes illegal as soon as you dry them. But you can legally grow mushrooms and take them, but technically, if you dry them, it becomes illegal. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think if you grew them yourself and put your own intention into them, it'd be a whole different form. You gotta be careful. getting this shit off certain people? Like, who's growing them, you know? What's their intent and all that?
Yo, I got to get a pair of these new Nikes that came out, bro. I don't know if Nike put these out or Timberland, but check these new shoes out. They just came out.
The fuck is that?
I don't know. I found this picture, man. I was on Pinterest, and I said, "Yo, somebody edited that really good."
No, but if someone
That's
actually made
hilarious.
shoes like that, they'd go viral and shit for sure, and you'd be able to sell a bunch of them. That's a good idea.
Somebody did good editing.
That shit's hilarious. There's like less than a minute. You have to get going. I do too, so I'll finish this.
In development of early Christianity, I'd say it's much more than a possibility. In fact, it seems like magic mushrooms seem like they were actually a driving force. So is Jesus Christ actually a code for psychedelic mushrooms? Maybe, maybe not. But the idea of using magic mushrooms to communicate directly with the Most High is as old as time itself. From the Aztecs to the Mayans, the Egyptians, is this idea radical? Maybe, like we said. But is it outside the realm of possibility? Absolutely not. Thank you so much for listening. Maybe you learned something, maybe not.
Yeah, there's a good book called, he mentioned it earlier. What was it called again? The Mushroom and the Cross by Allegro. John Allegro or something. And they really break it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. I was gonna use my mushroom avatar, but I'll get my hands on some. My spiritual journey is due for religious purposes.
Yeah, it could be a good tool if you use it in the right way. That's for sure.
I found one picture with Jesus, and they're eating mushrooms. Right here.
Let me see it. Oh yeah, look at all the mushrooms there.
I'm gonna find more and save them for tomorrow.
All right, bro.
For
I'm off for now.
sure.
I'm off, bro. Thanks for
All
having
right,
me.
Cage.
Have a great day, bro. See you.
Peace to everyone in the chat. Naga, I see you, bro. And peace to everyone. Let me see. Christos. Who else came in that I didn't say what up to? That's it. So peace to everyone. Maybe I'll go live later. But if not, I'll check you out tomorrow. And have a great day. I'm out. Peace to the gods and goddesses.